how to start reading comics. We all know these iconic heroes, Spider-Man, Batman, and arguably the most iconic of them all, Superman. But do we really read their comics? I mean, that's where they came from, right? Most people have watched their movies, played their games, and even watched their shows, but don't read these iconic characters. Which is why I will show you how to start reading comics. You should start by choosing one character only. This might sound very obvious, but many people go from character to character. You start by reading one character only. If you don't know what character you should start with, then pick one that you find very interesting. If you find the Spider-Man movies interesting, then you should read Spider-Man. If you like Batman games, start with Batman. For most people, they start with the movies, shows, or games, and that's where they choose the character they like. For example, I started with the Batman 2004 show and Batman the Anime series, and after that, continue watching these iconic characters in all types of media. If you still can't choose a character, find a character you relate to. And how do you find that? Well, maybe after watching Peter Parker struggle with his life and have the worst possible luck in Spider-Man 2, you found it relatable. The last way to choose a character is just the design. If you think a character looks cool, she probably is cool. Like Batman, his suits are amazing. And he is very cool. The community can be very toxic sometimes, but not all of it is. The community can be amazing and welcoming. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. No one will judge you as long as you're not being personally annoying. If you want any reading recommendations, feel free to ask. New characters to read, ask. Facts you want to learn, ask. How many Robins are there? Ask. Is Spawn in the DC universe? Ask. Any questions? Ask. Most people will respectfully and nicely answer your questions. So, what did you learn today? Ask. Also, check out your local comic shop. The people there are amazing. There's a 90% chance that the people there are very friendly. You can always ask them questions and ask for recommendations. So please visit your local comic shop. But the community isn't just there to answer your question. You can also talk to them, share your art, cosplays, and even debate. Okay, don't debate until you're 100,000% sure you're an expert at comics, because simple friendly debates can turn into a war. Seriously. Back in 1992, two kids were playing with their toys in their backyard and came up to the conclusion that Iron Man and Batman had a lot in common. So one kid picked up his Iron Man toy and the other kid picked up his Batman toy, and they fought. Until this day, the war hasn't ended. It went from two kids to thousands of fans debating. Well, this story isn't real. Ha ha ha. But the debate is. People have been debating this for years, and it's thousands of people debating this. So, don't debate, please. Start with graphic novels, comics that are not in the main continuity or the classics. Don't start with comic series that take 200 issues to answer the question, why is Hulk thick? Like, bro, he's so thick, like, oh my! Anyways, just start with graphic novels, comics that are not in the main continuity or the classics. A few examples are Batman Year One, the Injustice series, The Man Without Fear, and comics like that. Not in the main continuity means two comics that are not in the same shared universe, like Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man 2. Well, soon they will be in the same universe, if you know what I mean.
The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
Comic-Con and other conventions. I was going to put this in the community section, but I believe it deserves its own section. Also, shout out to my teacher, Mr. Rysick, for giving me the idea. Visit Comic-Con and meet other fans. Not just that, you can buy so many comics and collectibles. The whole purpose of Comic-Con is, well, comics. Comic book fans gather together to meet other creators, experts, and each other. This place is popular for a reason. Try to visit at least once in your lifetime. Not just that, the place is fun.
As a warning.
You will never, ever in your lifetime know everything. Like, trust me, never. You will never know everything. This is a huge problem most comic fans, including myself, have struggled with at least once in their comic career, whatever you want to call it. So, trust me, you will never know everything. And this might sound very sad, but it's not a bad thing. At least every day you get to wake up and say to yourself, oh wow, there's something new to learn. So, trust me, you will never know everything. Websites, just try to learn. A great example of this is Kingpin appearing out of nowhere in a Spider-Man comic. You ask yourself, who is he? Visit a Marvel website and find out the basics of him. You're watching the Batman behind the scenes, and a possible hint to Mad Hatter appears, and you want to learn more about him. Search up his name and find a website and read about the character. I started doing this about a year ago, and wow, my knowledge on comics has grown a lot. You can't just learn about characters, you can also learn about so many things like cities, weapons, objects, and more. The place I like to go to is Fandom. There they have an article and everything, like literally. I mean, they have an article on a battering, a flying knife. Well, it doesn't fly. A bat-shaped ninja star. And they even have one on Mjolnir. A hammer. A hammer. What more should I say?
I got you! I got you!
Where?
Mr. Guy, where do I read these comics?
Well, there's so many places where you can read these comics. The first place is your local comic shop. Not everyone has one, but there's a pretty high chance you do. You just have to search comic shop, then go to maps and find your local comic shop. The next place I recommend you to buy your comics is Barnes & Nobles. Trust me, there's so many amazing comics there. That's the place I visit every once in a while when I can go. Okay, so the third place is Amazon. This is the place where I rarely buy comics, but you can still buy them here. The last place is a comic app. I have DC Infinite, and it's an amazing place to read comics. You can also get Marvel Unlimited, which I really recommend. Either one of these work. And the most important step of them all, have fun. Trust me, you're going to enjoy reading comics. Just have fun. All the fun you want. Trust me, reading comics is fun. I enjoy it. I bet your grandma enjoys it. I don't know if she does. I don't know. And cut.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone.